Joining me now to discuss all of this is someone who is a key part of Congress's first investigation into the January 6th attack, California Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu. He was an impeachment manager during last year's trial of former President Trump for incitement of insurrection. Congressman Lieu, thank you so much for being here, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, Kristen. Happy New Year to you and to your viewers.
So let's start off with the committee and its work and what you just heard from Congressman Adam Schiff. And I guess the question for you is, are you satisfied that the January 6th committee has produced enough so far?
The January 6th committee has done a terrific job. When I was on the House impeachment manager team, we had a lot of evidence about what the former president did in the months leading up to January 6th. What he did on that day in inciting his supporters to attack the Capitol. But we didn't have a lot of information on what happened during their attack while he was watching it on TV. And the January 6th committee is really getting into those details and telling the American people that basically he did nothing. And the reason he did nothing is because he wanted the attack to succeed. He wanted his former supporters to go, as he said, fight like hell to nullify the election. And that's why we need to pass voting rights in the U.S. Senate as soon as possible.
Let me ask you about something that we learned in recent days. Benny Thompson says that the committee is going to look into whether they have the authority to subpoena fellow House members to testify. Do you think they do? And is that the direction they should be going in at this point?
No one should be above the law, not the former president, not any members of Congress. And if there is evidence of criminal conduct or information that an authorized committee of the House of Representatives needs, then everyone should comply with a subpoena, regardless of what their status is.
Let's talk about the midterm elections now. It comes as Democrats are renewing their push to get voting laws passed. Let me just play you something that the Atlantic's Bart Gellman said on yesterday's Meet the Press, and then I want to get your reaction on the other side.
If Congress changes hands, and if Republicans control both houses of Congress after the next election, they'll be the ones in charge of counting the electoral votes. And there's greater willingness now in the state legislatures to do what was Trump's fundamental strategy, which was to induce Republican-controlled legislatures to throw away the votes of their own voters and substitute electors for Trump.
Congressman Lieu, is that how you see the stakes of November's midterm elections?
Absolutely. Democracy itself is on the ballot this November. 147 Republicans voted to not certify the Electoral College results. And more than a year later, not a single one of them can identify who allegedly stole the election, nor explain how it was done. And that's because the election was not stolen. Donald Trump got crushed in the popular vote. He lost the Electoral College. And what we see are Republican legislators trying to nullify the vote instead of adhering to our democracy.
Well, when you look at history, the only time a president's party has not lost seats in the House is when his approval rating has been above 60%. At this point in time, and we're still very early in 2022, President Biden's approval rating is hovering in the mid to low 40s. So how concerned are you about that, and how do you turn it around?
I would be concerned if we were in October right now, but we're not. We're at the beginning of the year. And if you look at what the Biden administration has done, it's remarkable. We've created over 5 million jobs since January 20th. Jobless claims are at a 50-year low. Joe Biden got a major bipartisan infrastructure bill passed, as well as the American Rescue Plan. There's a lot to run on coming this November.
Well, as you know, he is trying to get his Build Back Better plan passed in this new year. And that comes after talks really broke apart with, of course, the critical vote with Senator Joe Manchin just before the holiday. And the senator has reportedly said that he will not support Build Back Better if it includes the child tax credit, which is expiring in a matter of weeks. So my question for you, would you support Build Back Better if it didn't include the child tax credit?
I believe the House will pass what the Senate passes. And I do believe a version of Build Back Better will pass. And that's because overwhelming majorities of American people, and poll after poll, support the Build Back Better Act, which is going to lead to lower eldercare costs, lower prescription drug costs, and lower child care costs.
But Congressman, let me just push you. Are you willing to support it if it doesn't include the child tax credit?
I will support what the U.S. Senate passes back to the House in terms of Build Back Better Act. And whatever Joe Biden and Joe Manchin negotiate and whatever they agree to, I will support that.
Okay. Congressman Ted Lieu, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.